leading organizational change through innovation. I want to appreciate the organizer of this conference, Penn State WFED, OD&C, and TD Conference 2021. I'm glad that I'm here. I'm very happy for having me. Today, we're going to look at the topic given to me. I'm going to be taking this presentation on global and societal change. We all agree that it has been like everything is, or the way everything is going on in the world. This poll will give us a leading interest on what we're about to hear. Like, have you been directly or indirectly affected by the pandemic? Do you believe there is a global and societal change? Have you heard of the word gender parity? Do you believe you are a change factor? The overview of this presentation is it calls for massive hypothetical relations from every sector of the world, especially social security, food security, economic capital, healthcare, scientific response, education policies, and climate change. And number two, the level of global disruptive realities has consciously been offered to the production of global scientific evidence relatively on different mechanical integration of the evolving world. The theories' hypotheses are somehow magical to the view of the people for common reasons. I want to say the world is practically going through drastic damage by scientific and artificial effects, which urgently need think tank ethicists with preferable solutions. Presentation objective will give us what we need to know more as we proceed with this paper. This paper will reveal the general knowledge of the global change, more so identifying specific areas of interest for global solutions. Number one, we have trajectory factors of global and societal change. The reason societal change needs attractive parameter, how the world should be guided against other unforeseen contingency. And number four, mechanism and catalyst towards global sustainability. This presentation scheme, we have to look to the background, the importance, the factors affecting global societal change, catalysts for the changing world, and of course, summary. Then if there's question we need to ask, I also put some question there, background. The reality is sparked with statistics and updates on the challenges we face as global citizens. Sometimes it can seem as though there are too many, from climate change to the high rate of gender inequality around the world. Too many people living without access to medical care, to racialism, to terrorism. The effects of all these pertinent issues has caused an unprecedented change in every continent of the world. Furthermore, there is no mitigation without inconsequentialities. And for this reason, the adaptation of the global citizens now depends on how quick response can be introduced, accepted, and responded to. The importance of this presentation is that there is need for proactive action when and where we can, as change is constant. Global shift occurred through COVID-19 pandemic, which has subjected the world into total panoramic situation and has affected every sector, home, institutional movement, and economic security. And number three is that a study on this activates our awareness to choose which global issues the UN consider most important and how individuals can contribute to the UN SDG. As a matter of urgency, we need solution-driven mechanism that must unreservedly put in place to salvage the world and its citizens. Factor affecting global societal change. There are factors, according to UN. Currently, they listed non-exhaustive but major global issues. See, citizens should be aware of. We need to be aware of these global issues, and I listed 5 or thereabout or 6 here, and of course, we cannot exhaust it, and they are all there. But let's discuss global food security, global health issues, global child health and primary education, gender parity, empowerment work in Africa, global policy, and environmental issues. The UN has also set 70 goals to be achieved by 2030, known as the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, UN SDGs. You know, many organizations have aligned their missions to these goals. For instance, all areas work on this. That is, this means technology, health, education, science, and economy is choicely selected by a commitment of the African global professionals. And let's start with this. Global food security. According to some research extractions, the number of hungry people in the world has increased over the last few years. 1 in 9 people in the world go hungry each day and suffer from nutritional deficiencies as a result. In previous years, food security has been the biggest threat to the overall health of the human population, more so than malaria, tuberculosis, and HIV. Of course, 2020 saw the most severe increase in global food insecurity as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, impacting vulnerable households almost everywhere. Current estimates show that nearly 690 million people are going hungry, half by 10 million people in just 1 year, and by nearly 60 million in 5 years. That's terrible. The problem is not that we are having producing enough food, but rather that people lack access to food. And many people do not have enough money to purchase food and cannot grow their own. And one of the points here is that according to W Food Program, World Food Program, that is WFP, countries with the highest level of food insecurity also have the highest outward migration of refugees. The UN is working to reduce the number of hungry people to 0 by 2030. This is presented by UN Goal 2, Zero Hunger. Therefore, the world needs an agricultural revolution to salvage the impending shift on global food supply. Global health issues, that's what we're going to look at. Besides malnutrition, there are many other issues affecting health on a global scale. In the past, the main topic of focus was communicable disease like hepatitis, cholera, malaria, tuberculosis, and HIV. The biggest threat on the world health and well-being is the COVID-19 pandemic that have been endangering lives since its discovery in Wuhan, China in late 2019. And it is not just people's physical health that have taken a knock because of COVID-19. We have also serious socio-economic side effects that will further contribute to the health issues, including mental health issues for a long time to come and other invisible disabilities. A lot of people are suffering from emotional stress before COVID-19 pandemic effects, which are not limited to loss of jobs, traveling, movement restriction, emotional zigzag, high rate of rape, depression, high rate of death. These are the global issues right now, and we need to quickly attend to it. And another one is global child health and primary education. There are children are the future of the world. We all know that. Yet many children across the world do not have some of their basic needs met. Rate of under 5-year mortality remain high. According to the GVI report that I researched, and it was so known that the health education go hand in hand. Malnutrition of children leads to permanent physiological damage, known colloquially as stunting. Children who are hungry cannot concentrate, and thus cannot learn. Long period of hunger affect learning process and lack of concentration due to hunger. It will affect and damage their academic or professional potential. So we can take a look and read further as we proceed this lecture. Children without quality education or educational capacity because of limited resources may leave school without the necessary numeracy or literacy skills required. Record shows that approximately 600 million children are not mastering basic mathematics and literacy while at school. In Africa alone, we have about 263 million children and youth that are out of school because basic needs are pertinently unavailable. Lack of educational provision, food and health security have mitigated the advance of these children across the continent. Other prominent issues that have obviously sidelined and subjected the world into an unhealthy environment is relatively denying people from revolutionary systematic approach. The UN aims to combat this trend in low-quality learning by uniting organizations under UN SDG Goal 4, that is quality education. I want to talk about the gender parity, that is gender equality. The potential of women are wasted from their youth by disempowerment from tender age. You know, we all know what that one can cause. So the number two part of this that I want to talk about is women's empowerment has far-reaching benefits for the world. It has been estimated that if women farmers could be given the same resources as men, 150 million more people could be fed, effectively achieving the goal of zero hunger. And this is just the other, it has gone beyond the sectional part of the world. So it's going to be more than 150. So women across the world are often caretakers of household health, which means that if all women are taught effective healthcare practice, global well-being statistics could be altered dramatically. You know, children of educated mothers are also less likely to be malnourished and survive past the age of 5. Non-communicable disease are the leading cause of death for women worldwide, with ischemic heart disease taking the number of one incident in women's mortality. Then, according to WHO, the number of women facing sexual violence are huge, very, very huge. At least 1 in 3 women faces sexual and emotional abuse. In that case, there is need for gender equity through seasoned advocacy for women, policies, and empowerment programs. We'll quickly talk about empowerment work in Africa. A number of world statistics highlight a need for additional support in sub-Saharan Africa. African population is 1.3 billion, with approximately 46% of the demographic formation are below age 18, which means the capacity of the social capital of Africa is richly significant to the world. The rate of unemployed youth is higher than the working class. So therefore, the empowerment of Africa is to the world's benefit, and it's a huge concern to spread what is needed for the development and advancement of the green continent. At ERU, for example, we have mapped out the areas where it is very important to channel the efficacy of empowerment. Global policy and environment issues, this is obvious. Some of the global issues cannot be solved by on-ground and grassroots style project. Policies hold the municipality of nations. And in major areas, there is a need to formulate policies that will strengthen the mode of operandi on each sector, like security, economy, and education, and also the establishment of institutions that will continue to foster growth and assist the government through people's engagement is highly recommended. And I want to conclude on this that there are 3 major environmental issues listed by the UN. This includes threats to habitat and organisms on land and underwater, as well as resource depletion, habitat and biodiversity loss, ocean conservative, water scarcity. So I'm making this known that catalysts for the world changing, for the changing world. And the International Labour Organization found that global unemployment increased by 33 million in 2021. The US Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that 559,000 jobs were added in August 2021 as compared to the estimated 1.2 million. So therefore, the creation of jobs is highly paramount through investing in education, innovative technology like IoT, Internet of Things, blockchain, AI, artificial intelligence, and other technological measures. agricultural revolution that we establish the food markets of the world, entrepreneurial integration, new world finance system, services. This fintech is what the world needs right now. And transportation and tourism, we all agree that that is part of the major problem and that we must also see into, and the world should also find a way of making sure this particular aspect is invested in. Durability policies and other solutions majorly lie on political leadership. In summary, global and societal change is a natural artificial phenomenon which cannot be excluded or prevented no matter how human capacity is involved, but possibly creating long-lasting solutions for the changing world. Visionary mechanism is key to guide global unforeseen contingencies. There are questions here, and I would like us to take it. And the world is in a circle of change. What can you do to bet a positive one? In this evolving circle, what technological revolution is the best to use, and what can you contribute? I have another question here that says that identify other global societal change factors. COVID-19 is a global disruptive element. What measure can be taken to ease the pandemic? Thank you. I'm very grateful, and my contacts are there. If you'd like to reach out, please, you will see it there. I'm grateful for the organizers of this conference.